These are tragic numbers. I want to get this information out to as many people as possible. Look what Yahoo Finance just published, I think it was yesterday. Saving for retirement is an essential goal for many Americans, but achieving the ideal savings target remains elusive for many. In 2023, the average American retiree had about 177.26 in savings, a decrease from 191.659 at the beginning of 2022. This 10% reduction is significantly lower than the recommended 555,000. Only 12% of retirees have achieved or exceeded this recommended savings amount. I want you to notice what they continue to say in the green box. Only a small fraction of retirees, around 8 to 10%, have successfully saved $1 million or more. This figure highlights the substantial challenges many face in reaching such a lofty savings goal, with the majority of retirees falling well short of this mark. This situation underscores the need for more effective retirement planning and saving strategies. This is troubling to me, especially this last sentence. This situation underscores the need for more effective retirement planning and saving strategies. Well, let me share a strategy that would work so well and has for 100 years. I want to show you these numbers because they're so impressive. I want to show you this strategy because it's not complicated at all. In fact, we've named this channel $1 Million Made Easy because you can see how easy you can reach this goal, which so few people are reaching, only about 8 to 10%. Watch these numbers. But I'm going to start out small. I'm going to start out, somebody just would have invested $100 a month and increase that by 3% a year. Where would that individual be using the S&P 500, an index fund, in the last 100 years, taken every single year into doing this scenario? Let's update this. I want you to look at the 35-year column. 35 years of doing this, investing $100 a month, increasing that by 3% a year, and these are the results you would have given every 35-year period beginning in 1923. If you go down through this column, the minimum you're going to find is 372,000, which is basically double what this right here says people have in 1922, 191,000. I want to continue by showing how easy it would have been to get to this recommended level, 555,000. Watch this. $100 a month would have got you the minimum. Actually, the median would have got you that 555,000 right there. Median meaning half the time you had more, half the time you'd have less. The median was already at the 555,000. But just do one other scenario. Let's go with $150 a month. You're really serious about your retirement. And let's every fifth year, let's add in just $25 to that. So in other words, you're going down here 150, you're increasing it by 3% a year, and in the sixth year, you're going to add $25 to that. Let's just see where these numbers might lead you. I'm going to update this. Again, this is for the last 100 years in the S&P 500. Look at this. The minimum you would have had in this column, the minimum, 654,000, the median, over $1 million. Why in the world are people retiring without $1 million when it's so simple to have these kind of numbers just using the S&P 500? And if you look at this, if we'd actually do it for 40 years, you'd have over $1 million for the median and for the minimum and 1.684 for the median. But I like to look at the 35-year period. Somebody that's age 30 that would do it till age 65. These are the kind of numbers we're looking at. How simple is this? You don't need a complex program to do this. You don't need to be learning a more effective retirement planning and saving strategies. You just need to do this simple fact, put it in the S&P 500, and according to this right here, the S&P 500 beats 93% of domestic equity funds. In other words, it says right here, 93.1% of them underperformed the comparison index. So why try anything else? Just go what's worked for 100 years. You don't need some fancy planning, and you also don't need to end up with this kind of numbers after working our entire career, ending up with only 191,000 or 170,000 right here. And the recommendation is 555. You can not easily, but go to $1 million if you just use these numbers and make some kind of a commitment. Look at this, $150 a month, increasing by 3% a year, just adding $25. Let's make this 50. Let's go to 4%. I'm going to stay with this $150 a month. I'm just going to show you how just little changes here can change so much. $150 a month, increasing that by 4% a year. Every fifth year, after 5 years, beginning the 6th year and the 11th year, add $50. In other words, you start out with 150 and you're going to gradually accumulate this because you're going to get raises over these periods. Look where you'd be. The minimum 812. I always look at the minimum because I want to see this is the worst case scenario in the last 100 years, but we really should be looking at the median. $1.363 million with this scenario. Let's just drop it back 1% because I want to look at all kinds of different variables. Instead of increasing by 4%, you're just increasing it by 3%. Still at 749,000. 750,000. How does that compare with these people over here? And the goal they say is 555. You can easily crush that by just running these numbers. And the median will be $1.223 million. You go down through here. Again, it's such an easy plan. We don't need a complicated plan. When the S&P 500 is beating 93% of those domestic equity funds, why not just go with the S&P 500 and use these kind of numbers? Start out slow. Preferably, you'd be putting in $500 a month if you're making $60,000 because that's 10%. But I'm just starting out slow, showing you the kind of numbers you can have. If you would just do $250 a month, 3% a year, add $50 to that. In other words, $250 to start out with. Let's see one more set of numbers here. This just show you how easy it is to actually get to $1 million and more. So you can be part of that 8 to 10%. Again, there's the minimum you're going to have is 1.122 million. You've easily reached $1 million with this scenario. Let's just do this one more thing. Let's go to $25. See if you still reach $1 million. Increasing in the 6th and 11th and so on years. Yep, it'd still be over $1 million, $1,026,000. That's our goal in this channel, to show you how easy it is to make $1 million, have $1 million at retirement, just using the S&P 500, the index fund, $250 a month, increasing that by 3% a year, and you would reach this 8 to 10% goal, having saved $1 million. Please tell people about this. They need to know these numbers. So it's not some complicated financial plan. You don't need more effective retirement planning. You just need to do these numbers and stick with it for 35 and 40 years, and you're going to reach that $1 million goal quite easily. Consider subscribing to this channel. Please tell people about these numbers. Let's get this channel up. Let's show these numbers to as many people as we can. Thanks for watching.